So while part of me wants to stay consistent with my goals of being like, okay, this is the goal. I need to snap. I need to jump. Or like we could be falling behind. I need to move. I have to be careful of that because if I go too fast, I will break everything because, and we are live. Welcome to another episode of Ask Jason. I am Jason. That is Megan. We are here answering your questions around business, life. I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. Want to talk about what it's like waiting for your baby to be born. I could talk about that because we are just waiting right now. We're in limbo. I am checking text messages. As you can see, when it lights up, that could be my call. So let's get into the mix. Let's answer some questions because I don't want to have to end this live stream just jumping off a call. So let's get through it.
Okay.
What you got for me, Megan?
All right. I got a few questions right off the bat. All right. The first one is from Todd. All right. Do you think email marketing is very effective compared to other techniques that are out there?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think email marketing is very effective. The longest time we've seen email marketing is dead. Everyone writes, this is dead, that's dead. Really stupid. Everything works. Maybe the way you're working, it doesn't work for you. But email marketing is insanely effective, especially if you have a list. The only people I know that say email marketing is dead are people with a list of crap. Like people who are on that list and never wanted to buy anything from them in the first place. They either acquired that list by doing some sort of giveaway, like I'm going to give away a car if you give me your email address, and then they get a bunch of emails, and then they realize, hey, how come no one's buying? Because they're not your buyers. You gave away a car. Everyone was in on that, and that ends up messing up your email deliverability, your email health. So do I think email marketing is effective? 100%. It is a must from a retention side of things. It's a must to keep things going, right? Now you need like so many touch points between when someone actually buys your product or service. So unless you want to pay to keep getting in front of them over and over and over with paid ads, you have a list. So grow your list properly, nurture it, provide value, but 100% email marketing is effective and should not be left out of your marketing toolbox.
Okay. All right. Why is analyzing and tracking data important in online marketing strategy? And this is from Cheryl.
I don't know. How come when you're trying to lose weight and working out, tracking your weight, your food intake and all that, and your calories, how come that's so important when you're trying to lose weight? Same questions. Why is tracking and understanding how your marketing is effective good for your marketing? If you need that answer for you, like you're at the wrong place. I'm not gonna take that and take that beach ball that you lobbed over the plate and give you like a crazy, oh, here's the answer that you've been waiting for. If you don't know that, then you're not in business. Everything, you can't fix what you don't measure, period. So what you focus on, what you measure gets fixed, gets results and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm not giving any more thought to that question. That's okay.
Well, data is everything, right? Because then you don't know, what's working, what's not working. You need to be able to go and look at that.
Hey, Megan, answer that question for you. I don't even want to respond to that question. Megan could respond to that question. I want nothing to do with it. Think about it. The quality of the questions will determine the quality of the answers. You're asking a question like that. Like, that's like, hey, why should I count the reps that I'm doing when I'm working out at the gym? Why should I calculate the calories if I'm like my caloric intake when I'm trying to lose weight? Why should I like if you need answers to those questions, you're not going to lose the weight. You're going to stay fat. Like, that's it. Like, I'm sorry. But if you're sitting there saying those things, like, you're not going to run a business and you're not going to have any success in marketing. If you need an answer of why is measuring my marketing results important? Why is measuring the money in my business, my profit margin? Why is managing my investment money important? Like, come on,
Yeah.
come on. Let's ask real questions here.
All right. Moving on.
Go. Otherwise, Megan could do this. Or it'll be asked Megan. So Megan's a lot nicer than me. She'll just answer all your questions.
All right. This one is from Josh. What do you think is the biggest drawback using online marketing as opposed to traditional marketing? I guess that would be like billboards, flyers, traditional marketing.
I mean, just mass scale, like how many billboards can you put up versus how many people can you get in front of? Are you going to put a billboard in your town? Sure. I guess the price of attention matters. If a billboard was going to be $1 to put up billboards, I'd be putting up billboards all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it goes into price per attention, cost per impression, cost per reach, those things. Online marketing is still the best way. Like, I'm not going to go start looking for the most valuable place to put up billboards in Germany, but I could just blanket all of Germany with ads. So, I mean, that's the biggest advantage to it. One is the time to put in. Like, I put in one ad, I could blanket all of the United States with it. Versus like now I have to go negotiate with billboards, this person, it's one platform. I can just go on and run my ads. However, I think the biggest disadvantage to it is that we become so reliant on it. So traditional marketing still works, right? People place TV ads all the time. Look at the Super Bowl. You're getting TV commercials, still insanely priced, but for the value it brings, everyone watches the TV commercials during the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no one watches the TV commercials like when you have, PVR and you have all that stuff and you can fast forward commercials. So me overpaying for a commercial during, a non-live event, like a TV show where I could just watch it in PVR and watch it later, not really the best use of my value. But I could run an ad to everyone during that live event, let's say, during commercials, so that when they can't fast forward the commercial during the live sporting event and they pick up their phones and start checking their phones, they'll see my ad. So pros and cons, but I think a really good business is utilizing both.
Okay. All right. Question from Sasha. Okay, how important is industry expertise in hiring a business coach or mentor?
That's a good one, actually,
Mm-hmm.
because I was originally going to say super important, but I think it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If I was like, hey, look, I want to build the biggest agency in the world and I need a coach that's going to help me build that big agency and is going to help me like save 5 to 10 years in doing it, then industry experience is super important. If it's like, hey, I need to get better as a business owner, I need to get better at certain things, I need to get out of the way in running my businesses. I need someone who has built multiple businesses, who has managed, 3 to 5 businesses, plus an investment portfolio, plus all this, plus all the things that I want to do down the road, then not so important. Because I've hired coaches that weren't from, an agency side of things, but they built businesses. So, like a guy like Jay Abraham, who's an insane genius, and any business owner, if Jay Abraham offered them a chance to work for them for free, would jump on it. The guy has, experience in over like 2,000 different industries. So it really doesn't matter. Look, I think again, it goes back to what's the goal here, right? If I want to get better at managing investments and real estate, and I want a real estate coach, then yes, experience in the industry matter. I want to get better at mindset. Doesn't matter that you've never worked in the advertising space before, the marketing space before. I need mindset. You've worked with high performing and, high level individuals. That's all I need. Um, so, so I think it really depends on what you want to do and what you're looking to achieve. Mindset is one of those things that doesn't really matter what industry you come from. If it's like, hey, I need to build my business and I need to save, you know, all the mistakes and I want to save 5 to 10 years. That's why I went after Damon John when I started my clothing business. He had it. He was from that business. He's done everything that I wanted to do. So he made perfect sense. Uh, so yeah, um, a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B for this one.
Okay. Is that it?
I mean, I think so.
That's
Am I being soft? Am I lacking value, Megan, in these answers? Is there something you felt that was missing from my answer?
No, I thought I agree. Depending on your.
You don't seem impressed with my answer. You don't seem impressed. You don't seem like, hey, look, you really nailed this one. And sometimes I get it from you where you're like, yeah, that was good. I got it. This one was just like, is that it?
You know what? It's Monday.
Is that it? Like the people listening, they probably thought that was shitty. So is that it? Like, is that your answer for this guy who asked this question? Like, he's gonna be really disappointed with you.
That's all you want to say. If I'm gonna be
Well, now even more so. That's all I want to say. I want to prove that that was good enough. But yeah.
All right. Okay. So time for my questions of the week. Okay. So how do you manage to stay consistently motivated and excited about your businesses and your goals?
Sorry, I missed the first part of it.
How do you manage to stay consistently motivated and excited about your businesses and your goals?
Is that all you want to ask?
That's my whole question.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, I'm human. I'm on this entrepreneurial journey, just like everyone listening to this. Social media has done great of making me look way better than I am at times, and that I'm super on point all the time. That's nice. That's thanks to really nice video editing and having a video team that is designed to make me look really, really good. But it's hard. There's some days, like, let's be honest. I took a 7-day sabbatical where I left for 7 days. And on, one of the days I messaged Megan, like right before, I'm like, I'm taking the 8th day. Like I'm taking the 8th day. I didn't feel it. So there are days where I just don't feel it. And full transparency, I actually just had this conversation with one of my coaches. I messaged them over the weekend, and I'm like, what do you do when you just don't feel it? You're just off. You don't feel it. Like you're not ready. You're not trusting the decisions you're making right now. You don't want me to make decisions right now. Like I'm just off. Like, and it wasn't that I was necessarily going through all that. It wasn't necessarily that I was sitting there saying, okay, this is exactly how I feel. But it was more of, with the baby coming, there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of moving pieces right now that, you're privy to, Megan, because you're part of this world. But like for people who don't know me, there's a lot of moving pieces in the life right now with building 2 different businesses, growing one, deciding which one that will get my attention, how we want to grow each one. The idea of taking a step backwards in certain areas in order to go forwards. The reinvestment, the major reinvestments into the business that are going on, a baby on its way, right? Like that's like the ticking time bomb, like in a good way, but it's like, I have to be careful how I speed up on things, because when this baby comes, I have to slam on the brakes. So Well, part of me wants to stay consistent with my goals of being like, okay, this is the goal. I need to snap. I need to jump. I need to move. We're like, we could be falling behind. I need to move. I have to be careful of that, because if I go too fast, I will break everything, because it's the equivalent of like going like really, 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 really fast, like driving a car and then slamming on the brake, right? You're going to still hit the car in front of you. You're still going to hit the wall in front of you. How bad of an accident it's going to be, I don't know. But like, you got to be careful versus, hey, maybe if I just ran the speed limit a little bit because I know I have a stop sign or a light, 500 meters ahead, whatever it is, I could just slow down. Like, so there's a lot of different things going on. So it's hard. So, I mean, so I asked that question, and that was the question of like, so if if you see you're not being consistent, if you see, your goals and you just don't do it, like the response was, go sleep.
Okay.
Like literally the best thing to do is just go sleep it off. And that was what Mike told me. It's like when I feel that way, just go lie down, because then your brain just turns off. And when you wake up, it's a reset. Like, you're no good to anyone making any decisions. So you're probably just tired, and your brain's probably just like on autopilot right now. You need a kill switch. So you need to just go to sleep. And sometimes it's just trucking through. Like, we just gotta go do it. So how am I consistent with my goals? By becoming more and more mature with myself and with my business. Consistency, lack of consistency, lack of showing up for your goals is a lack of maturity. So, I, if you're an entrepreneur listening to this, you for sure get it. If you don't, I think you're lying, or you're a superhero. But there's been times where like you probably like had a bad experience with a client or something happened, and that bad hour turns into a bad day, and that bad day turns into a bad week, and that bad week turns into a month and whatnot. And you just keep going. That's a sign of business immaturity. But where I think I've gotten a lot better at is I could identify it right now, and I want to stop that spiral. So how do I say, I think the most important part to answer this question is, how do I stay consistent with my goals? I read them every single day.
Okay.
Every single morning, I read my goal, and I have a vision of the life that I'm designing and building for myself. And I read that every single morning. And when I miss a morning, or there's been a couple of days where I miss it, I know I'm starting to feel off. So I can't skip that. That's just me. So stay consistent by holding yourself accountable, by reading your goals every single day, and understand that if you're not being consistent with your goals, you're trying, like, either A, you may have hit those goals already and you're looping, or B, maybe it's trying to tell you something. Maybe it's sending you a message of like, hey, is this really what you want? Are you sure you want this? And pay attention to it. And if it's useless information, discard it. And if it's important, pay attention to it and revamp. So, longer answer for you, Megan, on that one, because you hated the first answer on the last question. So I tried to be a little bit more specific in this one. Did I satisfy you did I satisfy your question with that answer?
I'm going to say and said it, but you're fine. Said it. And that was really good.
I got nothing.
Very genuine response. And I like the mentor's advice of just go to sleep, because that's so true. Because you can't really have clarity around anything if you're just so burnt out. And just that rest can help so much.
Yeah. Look, my message to him was, I'm tired, right? Like, I spent the last 3 months reprogramming my way of thinking, my way of believing things, working with a coach on that, and reprogramming all that, which involved a ton of critical thinking, a ton of going to that, redesigning the two businesses, right? Doing that, being a dad, being a father, trying to design those two things at the same time. Obviously, the importance for me, the winning one goes to family. So then how do I build the business without sacrificing that part? How do I build two businesses? How do we start the investment side of things? So it's technically almost like three businesses going. How do I, revamp one of those businesses a certain way, plus a baby on the way? Like I was just tired, like just
Right.
brain fried, man. Like there's just, and it's not a complaining. It's not an excuse. It's just that I was just curious. Like, how do you just like my brain at, at some, at any moment of a day could just be fried because I'm thinking about all those things, right? I want the baby to be healthy. I want the baby to come out. I want the baby to, you know, how are my kids going to react to the third kid? How are we going to react? How am I going to, how am I going to be as a father? How am I going to love this kid as much as I love my other two kids? How am I going to, jump back onto the gas and drive this car for these businesses for the people that matter to me? Like, right. How am I going to do all that? So there's just so much going on, while sitting there saying, okay, well, how do we take a step back from the other business a little bit? How do we dial things back? How do we take 2 steps forward to go 10 steps? How do we take 2 steps backwards to go 10 steps forward? So when you're constantly thinking about all this, we don't give ourselves a break. That's why the 3 days, the 7 days,
Yeah.
off are so important for an entrepreneur. Like we don't shut off enough.
Yeah.
And now when you bring family into the mix of a lot of different things, that's where burnout comes. Burnout should not come if you're taking the time off to rest yourself and heal yourself. You're no good for your clients. You're no good for your employees. You're no good for your business if you're thinking like that. So yeah, go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Even as adults, sometimes we need to be told to break, go to bed.
Nap time, right? Like nap time. Nap time's wasted on the kids. Our kids don't want to nap, and all we want to do is nap. So it's
Yeah.
I tell that to my kids. I don't want to nap. I'm like you're gonna regret this in 20 years. You're going to regret that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is that it? Are we good?
Yeah. Looks like that's it.
Perfect. Head on over to jportnoy.com. We want to work with you. We want to help take your business to the next level, whether that's through our agency, through our training and coaching program and consulting. You get to work with lovely people like Megan. And I will do my best to give you answers that are up to par. Not like today. Megan didn't like today's episode. So I will go back and now think about that and think about how I could do better for her on the next episode. Megan, as always, thank you. And we'll see you guys soon.